Now, if you've watched my other videos, you know how much I preach adjustable push rods on these 20 cams, really on everybody. Hell, they had adjustable push rods up until Evos. But anyhow, so I had one last adjustable push rod to put in after I did my cam swap, which I made a video. If you want to know how to do that, go ahead and watch it. And I'm going to go ahead and show y'all the easy way that I do it, kind of like my little tricks. Now, you're going to need a little bungee cord, makes it easy. A 5/16 and 2/2 inches. Now, I recommend using a stubby gear, 1/2 inch. I'll show you why here in a minute. But if you don't have one, you don't have to have it. And the first thing you'll want to do is put your O-ring in. Now, while you're doing this, you want to make sure that O-ring doesn't fall down into the on top of your lifters. You can get it out. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but anyway, just pay attention to that. So the next thing, you go ahead and install. Oh, one other tip. It'll say in your instructions, but say you got them off eBay or something like that. What you need to know is these little grooves, or not grooves, it's more of a ring up here on the top of the push rod. The wider one is for the exhaust, and the skinny one is for the intake. So just a little bit of information. But you go ahead and slide it in. Make sure that your O-ring is still in the top up here. And then one other thing, you want to make sure you adjust this all the way in, because it barely goes in even all the way adjusted. And you go in like this, and then you're going to go ahead and take your bungee cord and drape it over your breather ports, and you're going to pull it down, get it on the tube, like that. And I'll show you a neat little trick off of you know, the benefit of using this instead of some people, you know, they recommend using a piece of wire or whatever. But anyhow, you do want to make sure that this lifter is all the way down at the bottom of the lobe. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit. You don't have to have it top dead center. I mean, that makes it easy if you're doing all of them. But as long as that lifter is down all the way, it's on the bottom of the lobe. It doesn't matter what the other lifter is doing until you get to them. You can either bump it over with the electric starter till it gets there. If you got it jacked up, work the wheel. But anyhow, so we take this, we raise this up, and then we start unscrewing it just like that. And make sure as you go up, you run that jam nut up a little bit. You can keep your fingers on there, and then just keep unscrewing it like that until you take up 0 lash. You want no up and down play in the push rod in between the lifter and the rocker arm. Now, you may notice that I've got the adjustable push rod covers. They give you more room right here, and to be honest with you, I have no idea why Harley-Davidson didn't do that from the factory. I mean, if they were going to have the covers look like the old showhead covers, why not just do it? But anyway, I'm going off on a rant. But if you don't have them, you'll just get by. You just got less room. Now, you're going to want to take some needle nose pliers, and keep in mind, be careful. You want to just pinch down here on the tit end of this push rod. You don't want to booger up them threads, and you're going to start. Just go ahead and unscrew it until gets down to the lifter. Now keep in mind, you're going to unscrew it a little bit. You're going to run the jam nut up, unscrew it some more. Just keep doing that until you get it to 0 lash. You want 0 lash. No up and down play between the lifter and the push rod. Now this right here is what I was talking about, about this, the reason I use a bungee cord instead of a piece of wire. You'll see that it pulls the push rod end over against the push rod cover, and it just makes it easy, and it keeps it from dropping down because there's tension on the push rod. And it also makes it easy for me then to stop using the needle nose pliers and push the end of it and hold it against the cover so that I can unscrew it the rest of the way easy. Running your jam nut up, and you'll get to the flat where you then move to your 5/16. I'll show you another trick on that here in a minute. And pay attention to that O-ring. You don't want to knock it down in there. It's a pain in the ass to get out. Don't ask me how I know. Now you see I've got my flats visible now, and I take that 5/16 like this, and then I put it up in this fin to help keep that. I mean, I still keep a little tension, finger tension on there, and then that just makes it easier to just keep running that push rod out. Run your jam nut up. And it's 0 lash, but you still want to be able to freely spin the push rod. You'll see I can turn it like that, but no up and down movement. And so then I'll go ahead and put my 5/16 back in my little spot like I was telling y'all. Alright, just like that. Now, you don't have to do this, I do this, but you can count the flats as you turn it, or I mark one flat, and I make sure that I start off with it facing towards me. Now, this is where the little stubby comes in handy, because I'm able to start turning, and I just hold that gear wrench end. It just seems to be easy, but I mean, you don't have to have that. And then you just keep going until, like I said, mine is going to be 3.5 revolutions. So there I am, that's 1. I keep going, that's 2, 3, and then all I got to do is run that around to the back. And so I know that that's the back right there. Take out my 5/16. You're gonna run your jam nut up. Use the stubby as your backup. That way you've got the most torque and leverage on your jam nut as you can put on it. And just tighten it up. Believe it or not, I have actually seen one of those on a customer's, even though it was tightened up really tight, it come loose twice, and finally I had to put red Loctite on it. It didn't come loose again. Now we go ahead and take off our covers, or I mean our little bungee cord. Run your tube down into the O-ring. Make sure it's seated in there. Some of these are kind of tough to get in correctly. There we go. And then go ahead and run the top up. Of course, if you took this apart, you probably already know how to put this back on, but, and then get your little cover like this. And this is what I do. I just take this flathead screwdriver, real careful, like get underneath the fin, push down on the spring-loaded cover, pop it in. Now, as y'all saw, there wasn't shit to that. Super easy. And doesn't take no time, you know, but you do need to make sure that you pay attention to what you're doing. You may also notice that, unlike old cars and pushrod cars and stuff like that, Chevy 350s and whatnot, you have to turn it several revolutions. It's not like them. And the reason for that is because the Harley-Davidson engine, when it heats up, especially it being aluminum, because aluminum expands more, it expands close to 60 thousandths of an inch. So that's, you want to make sure that you do that so you don't have any lash. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe and the bell button so you get the notifications, because we're going to be posting a video on removing and for port and polish of my Dyna's heads. If you want to learn how to take the heads off your twin cam, because that's one of the best performance modifications you can do. So anyhow, a minute, go drink his beer, because it's 5:30 somewhere, and see you on the next one.